had discussions also about Saturday at 12 o'clock. It's going to be a big moment. We'll see what happens. I don't expect much happening with these people, but we'll see what happens. And we're going to be signing a very important deal today. It's Doge, and I'm going to ask Elon to tell you a little bit about it and some of the things that we found, which is shocking. Billions and billions of dollars in waste, fraud, and abuse. And I think it's very important. And that's one of the reasons I got elected. I said, we're going to do that. Nobody had any idea it was that bad, that sick, and that corrupt. And it seems hard to believe that judges want to try and stop us from looking for corruption, especially when we found hundreds of millions of dollars worth, much more than that, in just a short period of time. We want to weed out the corruption.
What's going on, America and the rest of the world? Xander J. Hobson here, comedian, director and producer of boxing documentaries, and troll to those who need trolling. This is another episode of The Devil's Advocate, brought to you by the Brilliant Artist Movement. Folks, do me a favor because I'm trying to grow the platform. Subscribe, like this video, share it, and by all means, leave a comment in the comment section because I enjoy checking out the feedback from these videos that I make, as well as exchanging opinions and points of views with you all.
I'll ask Elon Musk to say a few words, and we'll take some questions. Elon, go ahead.
Sure. Elon Musk stood over Donald Trump in the White House today, thereby delivering a picture of presidential subservience, the likes of which we have never seen. The most powerless image of a president of the United States ever created by a camera. There it is. In that shot, Elon Musk is doing everything he possibly can to tell the world, without saying a word, that Donald Trump is not the boss of me.
So anyway, right? Probably one of the last people that I would consider who would be tasked with trying to save America would be Donald Trump. I grew up watching Donald Trump. I saw him initially down at the casinos because, again, I am a boxing guy and I used to go to the fights, and I would see Trump often enough down at the casinos. Trump, the cool billionaire guy who hung around the boxers, the rappers, and he was a pretty cool guy. But again, at that time, looking at Donald Trump, he was probably one of the last people that I would have considered who would be tasked with saving America.
In that shot, Elon Musk is doing everything he possibly can to tell the world, without saying a word, that Donald Trump is not the boss of me. Donald Trump is the boss of the other adults in that shot, Stephen Miller and Will Scharf, and that's why they are following Donald Trump's lead on the dress code for the Oval Office, which is the same dress code that has existed for every previous president. Elon Musk owns suits and ties. We've seen him wearing them. But today he decided to do the billionaire thing. Everyone knew that he was the richest person in the room, and he knew they knew. And that meant he could wear whatever he wanted. The billionaire power move was being underdressed, violating the dress code, and knowing that you can do it because clothes don't make the man, money makes the man.
Now, I said all that to say, I begrudgingly supported Donald Trump. I done it because I thought that Donald Trump was the better choice. America was going down a dark path, fraud, waste, and I had to choose between the people who allowed it to happen and the individual was saying, yo, we're not going to keep going in that direction if you vote for me. So I cast my vote for Donald Trump, and I trust in his judgment in getting America back on track. Now, some of the guys that Donald Trump had aligned himself with to turn America around, I don't care for him. I'm not a fan of Elon Musk. I'm not a fan of Kash Patel. And I'm not a fan of a lot of the guys that Donald Trump has in his camp. But you know what? I'm a serviceman. and I'm also a guy from the streets. And one of the things that I understand is in order to get the job done, sometimes you have to align yourself with some unsavory individuals who you might not like. But at the end of the day, we have a common goal. And our common goal is to turn America around and get it back on track. Because at the end of the day, it is all about getting America back on track.
And today, Elon Musk decided that he wanted to outdo all of his fellow tech billionaires who frequently show up in t-shirts. And so he violated another norm of business meetings at the White House and business meetings in a lot of places by bringing one of his 11 children. It was like bringing a dog to the home of a person who hates dogs.
So I happened upon the last word with a fellow by the name of Lawrence O'Donnell. And he was spewing all types of derisive venom in regards to the business arrangement between Donald Trump and Elon Musk. Now, before we go any farther, Elon Musk was totally out of pocket bringing that kid to the White House during that press conference. That was totally wrong. Elon Musk has been hanging out with Donald Trump in informal dress attire ever since they aligned themselves with one another. And for this Larry O'Donnell guy to get on his show and spew all type of derisive venom, it is a distraction from the real issue.
Now, one thing also that Elon hasn't really mentioned are the groups of people that are getting some of these payments. They're ridiculous. And we're talking about billions of dollars that we've already found. We found fraud and abuse. I would say those two words as opposed to the third word that I usually use, but in this case, fraud and abuse. It's abusive because most of these things are virtually made up, or certainly money shouldn't be sent to them. And you know what I'm talking about. It's crazy. So, but we're talking about tens of billions of dollars that we've already found. And now a judge who's an activist judge wants to try and stop us from doing this. Why? And why would they want to do that? I campaigned on this. I campaigned on the fact that I said government is corrupt. And it is very corrupt.
And the real issue is there have been a lot of people in the government stealing at the expense of the taxpayers. This Larry O'Donnell guy, if you really listen to his entire interview, it's all about the fact that Elon Musk and Donald Trump have discovered waste, fraud, and abuse. And I'll even go as far as to say stealing and wrongdoing at the expense of the taxpayers.
Who turns children from starving people? That's what I've been wondering about Elon Musk and Donald Trump since they decided to do that, since they decided to snatch that food away from children. You do not turn away. No one does. You can't turn away. Donald Trump and Elon Musk have both decided to turn away from the starving children of Sudan and the starving adults in Sudan. And they were not asked a single question about that today.
You know, this guy right here, Larry O'Donnell, he is so full of crap that his bullshit is bullshit. How are you more concerned about people overseas than you are about your fellow Americans? America is in a crisis. We got $36.2 trillion in debt. You have homeless Americans. You have Americans battling with drug addiction and alcohol addiction. And you're worried about sending money overseas to foreign nations. I live in America, and my tax dollars and the tax dollars of other Americans should be used to help Americans first. America is in too bad a shape to worry about what's going on in other countries. But you know why our money is getting sent overseas? Because you have people skimming off the money.
through USAID over the past several years, these are some of the insane priorities that organization has been spending money on. $1.5 million to advance DEI in Serbia's workplaces, $70,000 for a production of a DEI musical in Ireland, $47,000 for a transgender opera in Colombia, $32,000 for a transgender comic book in Peru. I don't know about you, but as an American taxpayer, I don't want my dollars going towards this crap, and I know the American people don't either, and that's exactly what Elon Musk has been tasked by President Trump to do, to get the fraud, waste, and abuse out of our federal government. Thank you.
I believe Elon Musk, and I believe Donald Trump, and I believe that there are people in the American government who are stealing by way of these programs. And I'm glad that Elon Musk and Donald Trump had Doge in effect to stop the fraud, waste, and abuse so we can get America back on track. Before America does anything else for anyone, it needs to do something for America first. Pay off your debt. Help our fellow Americans. And then after we've got that out of the way, then we can worry about helping other people. Hey, listen, man, I don't want to stay on this too long. I'm done with it. BAM!